Virtual Learning Network presents. This session is brought to you by Virtual Learning Network, a part of PCTI Group. Today we are going to discuss public speaking. Whether we are talking in a team or presenting in front of an audience, we all have to speak in public from time to time. We can do this well, or we can do this badly, and the outcome strongly affects the way that people think about us. This is why public speaking causes so much anxiety and concern. The good news is that with thorough preparation and practice, you can overcome your nervousness and perform exceptionally well. We are going to explain how. Even if you don't need to make regular presentations in front of the group, here are plenty of situations where good public speaking skills can help you advance your career and create opportunities. For example, you might have to talk about your organization in a conference, make a speech after accepting an award, or teach a class to new recruits. Public speaking also includes online presentations or talks. For instance, when training a virtual team or speaking to a group of customers is an online meeting. Good public speaking skills are important in other areas of your life as well. You might be asked to make a speech at a friend's wedding, give a eulogy for a loved one, or inspire a group of volunteers at a charity event. In short, being a good public speaker can enhance your reputation, boost your self-confidence, and open up countless opportunities. However, while good public speaking skills can open doors, poor speaking skills can close them. For example, your boss might decide against promoting you after sitting through a poorly delivered presentation. You might lose a valuable new contract by failing to connect with a prospect during a sales pitch. Or you could make a poor impression with your new team because you trip over your words and don't look into the people's eyes. Make sure that you learn how to speak well. Strategies for becoming a good speaker. What's great about public speaking is that it's a learnable skill. As such, you can see the following strategies to become a better speaker and presenter. Plan appropriately. First, make sure that you plan your communication appropriately. Use the 7 C's of communication to think about how you'll structure what you're going to say. When you do this, think about how important a book's first paragraph is. If it doesn't grab you, you're likely going to put it down. The same principle goes for your speech. From the beginning, you need to intrigue your audience. For example, you could start with an interesting statistic, headline, or fact that pertains to you are talking about and resonates you with audience. You can also use storytelling as a powerful opener. Planning also helps you to think on your feet. This is especially important for unpredictable questions and answer sessions or last-time communications. Remember that not all public speaking will be scheduled. You can make good prompt speeches by having ideas and mini speeches pre-prepared. It also helps to have a good, thorough understanding of what is going on in your organization and industry. Practice. There is a good reason that we say, practice makes perfect. You simply cannot be confident, compelling speaker without practice. To get practice, seek for opportunities to speak in front of others. You could put yourself in situations that require public speaking, such as by cross-trainings a group from another department, or by volunteering to speak at team meetings. If you're going to be delivering a presentation or prepared speech, create it as early as possible. The earlier you put it together, the more time you'll have to practice. Practice it plenty of times alone, using the resources you'll rely on at the event, and as you practice, tweak your words until they flow smoothly and easily. Then, if appropriate, Do a dummy run in front of a small audience. This will help you calm your jitters and make you feel more comfortable with the material. Your audience can also give you useful feedback both on your material and on your performance. Engage with your audience. When you speak, try to engage with your audience. This makes you feel less isolated as a speaker and keeps everyone involved with your message. If appropriate, ask leading questions targeted to individuals or groups and encourage people to participate and ask questions. Keep in mind that some words reduce your power as a speaker. For instance, think about how these sentences sound. I just want to add that I think we can meet these goals. Or, I just think this plan is a good one. The words just and I think limit your authority and conviction. Don't use them. A similar word is actually, as in, actually I'd like to add that we were under budget last quarter. When you use actually, it conveys a sense of submissiveness or even surprise. Instead, say that things are. We were under budget last quarter. This is clear and direct. Also, pay attention to how you are speaking. If you are nervous, you might talk quickly. This increases the chances that you'll trip over your words or say something you don't mean. Force yourself to slow down by breathing deeply. Don't be afraid to gather your thoughts. Pauses are an important part of conversation and they make you sound confident, natural, authentic. Finally, avoid reading word for word from your notes. Instead, make a list of important points on cue cards. Or, as you get better at public speaking, try to memorize what you're going to say. You can still refer back to your cue cards when you need them. Pay attention to body language. If you are unaware of it, your body language will give your audience constant, subtle clues about your inner state. If you are nervous or if you don't believe in what you are saying, the audience can soon know. Pay attention to your body language. Stand up straight, take deep breaths, look people in the eye and smile. Don't lean on one leg or use gestures that feel unnatural. Many people prefer to speak behind a podium when giving presentations. While podium can be useful for holding notes, they put a barrier between you and the audience. They can also become a crutch, giving a hiding place from the dozens of hundreds of eyes that are you on. Instead of standing behind a podium, walk around and use gestures to engage the audience. This movement and energy will also come through in your voice, making it more active and passionate. Think positively. Positive thinking can make a huge difference to the success of your communication because it helps you feel more confident. Fear makes it all too easy to slip into a cycle of negative self-talk, especially right before you speak, while self-sabotaging thoughts such as I will never be good as this or I'm going to fall flat on my face lower your confidence and increase the chances that you won't achieve that you're truly capable of. Use affirmations and use visualizations to raise your confidence. This is especially important right before your speech or presentation. Visualize giving a successful presentation and imagine how you will feel once it's over and when you've made a positive difference for others. Use positive affirmations such as I'm grateful I have the opportunity to help my audience or I'm going to do well. Cope with nerves. How often have you listened to or watched a speaker who really messed up? Chances are, but the answer is not very often. When we have to speak in front of the others, we can envision terrible things happening. We imagine forgetting every point we wanted to make, passing out from our nervousness, or doing so horribly that we will lose our job. But those things almost never come to pass. We build them up in our minds and end up more nervous than we needed to be. Many people cite public speaking as their biggest fear, and a fear of failure is often at the root of this. Public speaking can lead you to fight or flight response to kick in. So you have to choose either you want to fight or flight over it. First, make an effort to stop thinking about yourself, your nervousness and your fear. Instead, focus on your audience. What you're saying is about them. Remember that you're trying to help or educate them in some way, and your message is more important than your fear. Concentrate on the audience's wants and needs instead of your own. If time allows, use deep breathing exercises to slow your heart rate and give your body the oxygen it needs to perform. This is especially important right before you speak. Take deep breaths from your belly, hold each one for several seconds, and let it out slowly. Crowds are more intimidating than individuals, so think of your speech as a conversation that you're having with one person. Although your audience may be 100 people, focus on one friendly face at a time and talk to that person as if he or she is the only one in the room. Watch recordings of your speeches. Whenever possible, record your presentations and speeches. You can improve your speaking skills dramatically by watching yourself later and then working on improving in areas that didn't go well. As you watch, notice any verbal styles such as or like. Look at your body language. Are you swaying, leaning on the podium, or leaning heavily on one leg? Are you looking at the audience? Do you smile? Do you speak clearly at all times? Pay attention to your gestures. Do they appear natural or forced? Make sure that people can see them, especially if you are standing behind a podium. Last, look at how you handled interruptions, such as a sneeze or a question that you were not prepared for. Does your face show surprise, hesitation, or annoyance? If so, practice managing interruptions like these smoothly, so you're even better next time. Key points. Chances are that you'll sometimes have to speak in public as part of your role. While these can seem intimidating, the benefits of being able to speak well outweigh any perceived fears. To become a better speaker, use the following strategies. Plan appropriately. Practice. Engage with your audience. Pay attention to body language. Think positively. Cope with your nerves. Watch recordings of your speeches. If you speak well in public, it can help you get a job or promotion, raise awareness for your team or organization, and educate others. The more you push yourself to speak in front of others, the better you'll become and the more confidence you'll have. Now let's talk about how to start speech. 5 speech starting do's. Use physical activity to get the audience's attention. A theme-related physical activity can also help the audience generate a visual image of your topic. Often, you can draw on that letter in that speech. A speech on the importance of exercise could open with jumping jacks. A speech on child abuse could open with the speaker striking an object with a great force. Make a startling statement or present a startling statistic. For example, government officials in the United States have murdered 23 American citizens. Might open a speech opposing the death penalty. This type of opening can create a feeling of suspense and anticipation of the statement's justification. Tell a theme-related joke. Humor is not for everyone, and it's alike risky if you aren't familiar with the audience. But nothing wins audience over as much as a good laugh. Provide an apt quotation. In addition to framing the theme of the speech, you can generate credibility by demonstrating that you are familiar enough with the topic literature to have found such an appropriate quotation. Relate a relevant story. Most people give only a few formal public speeches in their lives. Yet, we all tell stories every day. Telling a story can be a comfortable and natural way to generate momentum for the rest of the speech. These are do's. Now, what are don'ts? 5 speech starting don'ts. Begin with, "Hi, my name is." The sentences most likely to be remembered by the audience are the very first and the very last sentences you utter. Don't throw away the opportunity to do something meaningful in the opening line. Make a false start. Avoid apologies and tentative statements that can put your credibility in question. Some typical phrases to avoid are, "Well, here goes," "Where shall I start?" and "Can you hear me okay at the back?" Use a rhetorical question. Typically, the result is an awkward moment because the audience is unsure if response is really desired by the speaker. This can erode your confidence. Go overboard. You want to be creative and innovative in attracting audience attention, but your opening should be consistent with your personality and with the tone of the rest of the speech. Fail to consider how you get to the podium. Speaking areas are often crowded and nothing destroys your credibility like tripping on the way to the front of your audience. This happens to someone famous every year. I hope you enjoyed the session and you will be confident enough to speak up in front of big audience. Thank you.